When I was younger, I used to think that only kids were sponges. When you're younger, you have this mindset that children are completely different from adults. And I used to think that way until I became an adult. And I realized that adults are not really different than kids in certain areas. So what I mean is I used to think that only children absorbed and soaked in and took in things, but as an adult, you don't realize that you're taking in all kind of things from work to working out to in and out of the doctor's office if you are someone that has to constantly deal with health issues in and out of the grocery store. If you are following some influencer online, or you follow people online, or you listen to different types of ministers and preachers and pastors, then you don't realize that you are taking in all kinds of things. And so just as you can sit, or I don't want to say sit, you can have certain conversations in the presence of children, whether they're yours or whether they're not. And sometimes because they're not actually involved in the conversation, they're just kind of off to themselves playing, then you don't think that they're recording and taking in the conversation that you're having with that person, because they're not over here in the conversation and they're not in it, but they're over there playing, and you don't realize that they're actually recording everything, and you don't find that out until later on. The child says it out of their mouths, or another adult comes up and tell you, hey, your kid said this. Like, wait a minute, how did they know this? And then you realize that, oh yeah, I had that conversation in front of them. They were recording it because they're sponges. And so there's times where I'll be around somebody else's kid and they'll repeat something that they heard or that they caught. And it's not necessarily that the child was involved in the conversation. It's just because they're constantly recording. And so just as children, us as people in general, we are constantly recording things. We are constantly taking in things. We are sponges. And so with that being said, as Christians, it's vital, it's critical that as we are taking in things throughout our day, for those that may have to go out and work in a circular environment, we have to understand that we are taking in things. A lot of times it's not necessarily us, but it's the atmosphere, it's the environment. You go to work, or you send your kids to schools and places with other individuals that come from their own homes that are broken, their own homes that are unstable, their own homes that are messed up, and they come to school, they come to work, and they bring that there. And so you're there and you have to pick that up. Or you don't have to pick it up. You don't have to pick it up, but you are going to pick it up. You're going to pick it up. It's just like, so this is the best example that I can give. It's just like someone who smokes cigarettes. You may walk past them, or you may choose to not even go near them, but you are still going to be affected by that cigarette. You're still going to smell it. It's funny how you can be like a few feet away and not even be near the person smoking, but yet it'll hit you. And so just as the smoke from someone smoking a cigarette, that secondhand smoke can affect you, that's the same way our world and our environment can affect us. And so it's important that as believers, as Christians, we keep ourselves clean. And we do that by staying connected to the vine. And so just like in the natural, you have to take a shower every single day. Every single day. Or you're supposed to. You're supposed to. It's a little different if you're a lot smaller and you're a newborn baby, or you're a younger toddler or a younger child. It's different. But as you get older, as you grow, you're going to need to take more showers, just like in the natural, because your body is going to begin to change. Your body gives off a odor. Your hormones are changing. And so just in the natural, how you have to take a bath every day, it's the same way in the spirit. I have to take a bath every day. Why? You ever smelt someone that went days, weeks, possibly months without taking a shower or a bath? it stinks. It releases a stench and an odor in the atmosphere, and it affects the things around them. And eventually, if that person decides to never bathe, guess what's going to happen? Their body is going to begin to grow these skin sores, and it's going to start to grow bacteria and infections, and their skin it's going to start to eat itself. Because in the natural, if you are out and about, if you go throughout your day and you have to go to work, you are interacting with germs and bacteria, all kinds of things. We know this. We know this when it comes to science and viruses and contamination. And we understand that. We understand how that can happen. We understand that, I can come in contact with bacteria. I can come in contact with an infection. That's why you wash your hands, right? That's why you have to clean your hands. And so not bathing, not taking a shower for days and for weeks, I'm going to be open to getting sores. I'm going to be open to getting an infection, and bacteria infection. And so the same way in the spirit, if I don't eventually take a shower, if I don't be cleansed, if I'm not washed, then I can get an infection of false doctrine. I can get an infection of unbelief. I can get an infection of lust or perversion. That thing can overtake me. It can overtake me, and then I can find myself somewhere else. And so Jesus says that we are cleansed through his spoken word. We are cleansed if we stay connected to the vine. How is it that we can constantly be washed, but then we can get back dirty as well? Well, just like you took a shower yesterday, you did not stay dirty. You did not stay in your sweat. You did not stay, with the smell and the stench that's on your body. No, you actually went. You knew where to go. You knew to go to the water. Jesus Christ is the living water. You need to go and find you some water and to cleanse yourself. But you must say, but I bathed yesterday. Yes, nobody in their right mind is going to say, well, I don't need to bathe today or tomorrow because I bathed yesterday. No, you need to be cleansed. And so with the Lord, although the Lord may have cleansed me yesterday, today I still need to be cleansed. I still need to be cleansed because I'm going to take in things. I'm going to absorb some things. A lot of times, not intentionally. Sometimes it's unintentionally, just like that cigarette. No, you're not the one smoking it, but the simple fact that it's in the air, it's in the atmosphere. So you're going to be affected by it. And so there's times where you may scroll on social media. You may go out into the store and the music's playing. You may see something inappropriate or foul on the internet somewhere. You have to deal with those images, the imagery. You have to deal with the music that is played into your ear, the sound, the words to that song. You have to deal with that was played into the atmosphere. And sometimes people will say things, well, music, I can listen to all kind of music. That doesn't affect me as a Christian. Or I can watch whoever. That doesn't affect me as a Christian. You don't realize that just like that child may not have been in that conversation, but the simple fact that that child absorbed the conversation and was able to go somewhere else to another adult or to another child and replay the whole conversation. Yeah, there's been different incidents to where this child went and told this child and that child went and told their parents, and now the parent had to go back to that parent. Hey, your child said this. Well, where did my child get that from? Well, your child told my child that X, Y, and Z happened. How did my child know that? Well, man, they were in the room, but I was not even talking to them. It shows you how they're sponges, how they take in things. And so we are taking in all kind of things. Yeah, that music that was playing in Walmart, that music that was playing in Ross or Burlington, you took that in. You may not have known the artist or the words, but I don't know if you've ever experienced this to where you were in the store, the music was playing, you have no idea who the artist is or what they're saying, but later on, that same song starts replaying in your mind word for word. That's happened to me. That's happened to me several times to where I don't even know this song yet. It's playing, and that shows me, oh, I'm taking in some things. And so with me taking in some things, I need the Lord to cleanse me, because if I don't ask the Lord to cleanse me, then that's going to take a root, and that's going to start to grow, just like the bacteria on the natural body. When you don't bathe, when you don't get that off, when you don't scrub that off and do away with it, that bacteria is going to grow. It may not show up right then and there. You know that? Do you know when you don't bathe, you don't see the bacteria that's on your skin? You don't see the germs and everything on your skin right then and there. It's not until you go weeks, you go days, you go months without bathing, that it starts to grow. And so in the spirit, when you don't confront and address what you've taken in, the influence around you, the carnality at the job, the music at the stores, when you don't deal with that, that's going to start to grow. It's not going to show up on the first day. You can't say, well, it's not affecting me. You know, that music doesn't affect me. That stuff on TV doesn't affect me. So I watch what I want to watch. I listen to what I want to listen to. No, it's not going to show up on the first day. It's not going to come in the form of a demon on the first day. No, that thing is going to take root, and then it's going to begin to grow, and then it's going to show itself eventually. You're going to start to operate in unbelief, and you're going to be trying to figure out, well, why do I no longer believe in what I believe in? Well, something came in that you did not address. Something began to take hold of you and to latch onto you, and you did not go to the Father so that he can cleanse you of that thing. You need to be cleansed. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how strong you think you are. The reality is things affect us. Things affect us. You may say, well, I like to listen to this Christian rap music because, you know, it drew me closer to the Lord, and I don't think that it's affecting me. I feel like I'm growing closer to the Lord as I listen to Christian rap, or as I listen to jazz, or as I listen to, you know, R&B. You know, most people say, well, R&B doesn't have cursing in it. And so I like, although I'm a Christian, I like it. I like how it's upbeat. I like how it's soft. I like how it's gentle. And then you don't realize that music is affecting you. It's causing you to accept and receive worldliness, but you don't think that it's affecting you, but it is. It's going to grow on you just like that bacteria on your flesh. And so Jesus says in John 15, he says, I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that bears not fruit, he takes away. And every branch that bears fruit, he purges it. And he says that it may bring forth more fruit. Now you are clean through the word which I've spoken unto you. Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself except it abides in the vine, no more can you except you abide in me. And so what Jesus is saying is, you don't have the power to remain clean and cleansed on your own. You don't have the power to remain free on your own. You need me. You have to stay connected. If you begin to think, well, I can do this by myself, I'm strong. I'm strong. You know, I believe that I'm capable of watching this scary movie. I believe that I'm capable to going to this gathering. I believe that I'm capable to talking to this person, still thinking that you are so strong. And Jesus is saying, if you think for a moment that you can abide outside of me, you are wrong, because the branch cannot abide outside of the vine. Yeah, that branch right there that's been cut down or chopped down, or it just broke off from the actual tree, you don't see it starting to sprout up leaves and growing fruit. No, the moment it begins to disconnect from the source, it starts dying. We understand that when we get real flowers or roses or whatever that's alive or living, such as a plant, when you take that plant from its source and from its root, yes, it's pretty. You can put it in a vase, but those roses, those daisies, those flowers, those orchids, you know, they're gonna start to those orchids. I think that's the name. They're already in the process of dying. They already started dying the moment they were cut, disconnected from that vine, that source, that root. They were already in the process of dying, and so that's how we are when we are disconnected from the Lord. Jesus makes us clean through His Word. That's why we go to Him. Lord, I had a long day at work. Lord, the grocery store was crazy. Lord, there was people were cursing. People were using profanity. People had on crazy shirts, because sometimes the music may not affect you if you go into the store, because some of us, we can do a really good job, you know, as far as blocking the music out. But what happens when, you know, you're walking down aisle 4 and somebody has on this demonic shirt, somebody has on this perverted shirt, the wording on there is just it's profane. Not profane, but it's profanity. It's wicked. That you took that in with your eyes. You saw that happen. Yeah. You went down the Halloween aisle, or you turned down the wrong aisle, and it had all types of demonic stuff. That's going to affect you. And so you have to ask the Lord, cleanse me, wash my mind. My pastor said something yesterday, that in order for us to bring freedom to other people, we have to stay free. And so in order for me to release a cleansing unto other people, I have to be clean myself. I have to stay clean. So you know it. Get free. Get free, be free, stay free. So I got clean. I have to stay clean so that I can go and release this onto other people. I can't be a person telling you how to be clean, how to not be a drug addict, and I'm a drug addict. That's so funny. You have people like that in the world. They're going to tell you how to go and get clean from your addictions and from your illnesses, your mental illnesses. Yet, they're dealing with mental illnesses. They're dealing with addictions in their own life. Yeah. That's why you have the little counselors out there and the therapists out there. They're going to tell you how to get free from your addiction. They're going to tell you how to stop smoking. They're going to give you a patch, or they're going to give you the vaping pipe. They're going to give you these things because they want to teach you how to be free and how to get clean. But they can't do that because they don't have the power to do it. Only Jesus Christ does. He's the only one that has the power to make you clean. And he does that through his word. He releases his word over us. And so when we go to him and we say, Lord, it's been a long day. Lord, this affected me at the clothing store. This affected me at the grocery store. The music, Lord, the graffiti on this person's shirt, the conversation that I overheard. My ears were open, Lord. Lord, cleanse me, wash me, and he will. You can ask the Lord to remove those images. Lord, remove the images. Remove the words to that song because that's going to affect me. I don't agree with that song, but it's playing in my ear. It's playing. It's playing. And so I have to be in disagreement with that. And so we go to the Lord and we ask him to wash and to cleanse us. We need the Lord to wash and to cleanse us. Why? Because our world is affecting us. You are a sponge. It doesn't matter how old you are. You take in things. You are a sponge. Like I said, I used to believe that it was only kids that would take in stuff and absorb stuff. But as I got older, I realized that adults were not much different than children. Like, oh, you're just as worse as the kids. I had this mindset that people, the older you get, you're completely different from kids. But you got adults that are very immature. You have adults that they don't want to settle things. They don't want to make peace. They want to argue. They want to fight. They want to be as children. And so people in general, we take in things. And so because we take in things, there needs to be a cleansing happening. We need to be daily purged. That's what Jesus comes to do if we abide in him. And if we do that, we're going to produce good fruit as he's making us clean because he's the one that's doing the purging. He's the one that's cutting off the dead leaves and removing the stuff that just doesn't want to cooperate and come in alignment. He's doing that. He's removing it because if you don't attack the stuff that's on this tree, then it's going to spread throughout the whole body. Throughout the whole tree, yeah. If we don't get rid of this one little part that's diseased and that's been affected, then this can potentially spread throughout the whole tree. And then what eventually happens is they have to uproot the whole tree. You don't want that to be your story, that the Lord sees you as someone, you're filthy and you're unclean. And knowing that you're in this condition, you're not even going to him and asking him to cleanse you, yeah. If you remain in this state, then that can overtake you. And this is how people begin to backslide. That's how people begin to go back into the world. You see people in the faith, and then sooner or later you don't see them no more, and you begin to ask yourself, well, what happened? The Spirit of God is pouring out in this place, and so I don't understand what the problem is. God is real. God is moving. God is responding. God is showing himself. And so why would a person go back out? I would ask that question very often because I'm like, are these people not experiencing what I'm experiencing? And so what would move a person to go back out? What would cause a person to leave the best thing and go back out into the world? Well, when we are exposed to things, when we are open to things, sometimes it's conversation. Sometimes we are connected to the wrong people that God will tell us to cut off. And being connected to the wrong people can open doors to unbelief. It can open doors to other mindsets. It can open doors to other instructions apart from what the Lord has given you. And if we don't address it, then we can find ourselves in disagreement. We can find ourselves, believing that, man, this is error, or this don't look like God. This doesn't look right. And then over time, with us not addressing it, this thing is growing on the inside. It's taking root. And so now I find myself, coming to church less and less. I was coming to church faithfully every time there was service. But now I've opened myself up to this person who I'm supposed to cut off. They're influencing me because I'm a sponge. So whatever they believe, they released onto me. I took that in. And now I'm absorbing it. And now it's growing on the inside. And so I used to be in agreement with what the Spirit of God was doing. But now I'm thinking about what that person sowed into me. And it's growing. And so instead of me coming to church 5 days a week, I'm showing up 2 and not 1. And then eventually you just stop seeing the person and you begin to wonder, well, what happened? Well, that person took something in that they weren't supposed to take in. They took something in that caused them to be defiled and unclean. Yeah. You need to go be washed and cleansed. Yeah. You need to go be washed and cleansed. You're defiled. You're unclean. And you cannot spend forever with God in your defiled state. You have to be cleansed. You have to be washed. This is why when we spend forever with God, we're going to have new bodies, because this body is full of sin. Although the Lord is cleansing us here in the natural, we have to understand that this body is going to be full of sin until the day that we die. So we have to get a new body that's clean. We have to get a new body that's new. We have to get a new body that's without spots and without blemish, because this body, from the time you were born to the time where you are now, has taken in so much. Some of us have been saved for X amount of years and we're still being purged and cleansed from the things of the world. I mean, I've been out of the world for 12 years. Do you know I'm still being cleansed and purged? Because sometimes a sponge, it can absorb so much water that you have to wring it out a couple times. You get that sponge and you wring it out one time and you realize, no, there's water still in here and you need to get it all out. That's how we are. The Lord has to get it all out. He has to purge us from years of bitterness, years of unbelief, years of pride, years of lust. That's why there are different stages. This is why you can hear a person say, well, I've been delivered from this level of lust, or I've been delivered from lust. And what they're saying is they've been delivered from this level of it, meaning they don't struggle with lust or with pride or with anger at that capacity anymore, at that level anymore. Why? Because there's a deep work that the Lord has to do on the inside, because we've taken so much in. There's so much of the damage. There's so much of the spots and the things that we took in that the Lord has to cut off. And we have to stay connected to Him in order for that to be done. Yeah, I need to be cleansed, but I got to stay connected. I can't be out there trying to bathe myself. You've ever had a child go and take a bath by themselves? They come out still smelling the same. Like, what did you do? Did you wash? Yes, mommy, I did wash. Why is there still dirt behind your ear? Why is there still dirt on your neck? You didn't do this right. Let me help you. This is how God is. We need His help. We need Him to cleanse us thoroughly. A thorough purging, a thorough cleansing, because like that child, you let that child think that they can go and wash by themselves and they come back out missing all kind of spots. Like, you didn't wash there, you didn't wash, you definitely didn't wash there. You still have crumbs on your mouth, so you didn't clean your face. You didn't clean your eye, you still have eye boogers, so you did not clean your face. Yes, mommy, I didn't know you did not. Let's go back in this bathroom and let's do it the right way. That's how God is. He's that parent that's helping us to stay clean. No, I'm going to wash you every which way, because you do it, you trying to cleanse yourself, you're going to miss some spots because you don't know how to do this. You don't know how to wash yourself. I wash you with my word. He says, now are you clean through the word? And Jesus is the word which I've spoken unto you. So He releases that. And because His words are life, His words are alive. They are doing things, to us. They're doing things. He's washing away the mindsets. He's washing away the conversation that you overheard at work. He's washing away the foul music that you heard at the grocery store and at the clothing store. He's washing away the imagery that you saw when you were just walking to the mailbox. That person had on a pyramid and the third eye on their shirt, and that affected you. That began to breed some crazy thoughts. And so you just needed the Lord to just wash you of it. And He did. And now you no longer see those images no more. Now you no longer remember that music that was at the store. Now you no longer is dealing with the after effects of that conversation you had heard at work, because they were being perverted. They were being carnal. Yeah, He did that for you. And He's doing that. And we have to remember that we need to stay connected, and we have to understand that we need a daily cleansing. Just like I need a bath every day, I need a daily cleansing. I can't think, well, I'm good. I don't need the presence of God today. I'm good. I went into the presence yesterday. I prayed yesterday. I read my word yesterday. I worshiped yesterday. Why do I need to do it all again today? Well, listen, if you don't do it, then something is going to take root. If I don't wash myself eventually, that bacteria that I cannot see today, because I may think, well, there's nothing on me. I don't need to wash my hands. I'll just go and get some hand sanitizer. That quick fix. I'll just go and get some hand sanitizer until, you go weeks without washing your hands. And then you're trying to figure out why you have a wart growing, why you have some crazy looking bump on your hands. Well, how did I get that? You didn't wash your hands. I use hand sanitizer. Well, that kills the good germs and the bad germs. You have to actually thoroughly wash your hands. You have to scrub your hands for that 20 seconds. That happy birthday song. You have to actually do that in order to get the proper cleansing. And so that's us. We need that thorough cleansing. And sometimes it don't always feel good. It doesn't always feel good to be scrubbed down and to, be wash in an aggressive way, but sometimes you gotta apply the pressure to actually get the stains out. It makes me think about Shout. When you get a stain in your shirt and you gotta get the stain remover Shout, and how you have to actually apply some pressure and get it out. That's us. Yeah, we have some stains, we have some spots on us that the Lord is trying to cleanse us up so that we can be blameless and spotless before Him when we stand before Him. Yeah, we need to be blameless and spotless, but we also have to be open for the cleansing and for the work for Him to do. Yeah, it's going to be a little uncomfortable. Yeah, it might be a little painful, but it's going to be for your good. Yeah, that tree, yeah, get rid of those dead leaves. Yeah, get rid of that bad fruit. Yeah, get rid of that contamination right there. Yeah, that way this tree can be healthy. And that tree's going to be happy later. Man, I'm so glad that they finally cut this diseased part of my trunk or my branches. I'm grateful, although it was a little painful. Yeah, I didn't want to lose that part, but I'm glad. I'm really, really glad. And so we're grateful for the cleansing and for the washing. Jesus Christ, He's the living water. He's the water. That's where we go when we need to take a shower. We go to the water. We're not bathing with milk and we go to the water, active water, the water that's moving. When you turn on the faucet, that water is moving. That water is flowing. It's not stagnant. No, you go to the living water, which is Jesus Christ. And so that's my encouragement to you all today in Jesus' name.